Hey, what's going down? So yeah, I'm gonna do something I haven't done really too much of before. Instead of the music thing, I think I'm just gonna go through a tour. I'll kind of explain everything in the classified setup. I've got everything in for now except for some new pre-orders. So yeah, let's take a look. All right, so coming over here, and I'm just using like obviously you can probably tell I'm just using like household trash for backgrounds and stuff like that, but I'll get a little more detailed into it. But maybe we'll start down here. So down here I've got the water. Funny, I guess it's an Amazon fail. The cloth or tablecloth that I ordered was supposed to be a lovely ocean blue, and yeah, it showed up as navy blue. So I was like, fuck it, whatever. So yeah, I've got the Fortnite boat, as do most guys. I haven't figured out how I want to customize that yet. But then I got a dock here that I just made out of dowels, popsicle sticks, that kind of thing. Got Zartan hanging out there. I'm going to do some wooden stairs here, but for now they can use that ladder to get up and down. Of course, I have Croc Master and Fiona getting ready to hop into the ocean. And then, yeah, over here. So it's just a real simple Rattler print. I think it was actually scaled originally for the 28 millimeter or something, but I just printed it big. I do have the HasLab one coming, but the difference with this one too, I put pontoons on it just because I was like, oh screw it, if I'm gonna print 3D print a Rattler, I might as well do something cool with it. So it's got the water float, so it's like a hydro Rattler. And then this is just a Lady J that I painted red with, I think it's the White Queen's head from Marvel Legends. So that's my pilot for this, and I called her Siren. So I thought that was pretty fitting with the water and everything like that. And I don't know if it's been used, but whatever. So that's my water area. And then coming up here on the docks, we've got, of course, the ferret. Got Zarana there and Xandar. He's an awesome figure. Probably one of my favorites of the line so far. I don't know. I liked him as a kid too. I don't know. I was always into like the punk rock characters. Loved the Dreadnoks. Got one of those python bats. You can find them in Canada for like $10 a dozen. So I've just been picking them up when I see them cheap. Of course, the saw viper. Supposed to have a second one on the way, but I don't know. Amazon screwed up my order. I ordered 2 and I was billed for 2, but only got 1. So working that out with Amazon. I'm sure they'll send me another figure. No doubt about that. And then over here I've got, I 3D printed these rifle racks. I think they're originally scaled for 3 3/4, but I just blew them up. I couldn't tell you who made them, but they're on Thingiverse for free. Bunch of cargo. I printed this cargo off too. Weathered it up a little bit. Using the bats for some manual labor there. This is my 3D printed Hiss tank back here. That's one of those cheapy G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movies figures, so I just threw them in there. But yeah, I 3D printed this guy. And those are Tonka bulldozer tracks that I put on it instead of the 3D printed ones. Of course, I've got the Techno Vipers working away here. Welding up some tracks or something, who knows. Trying to put the Cobra logo all over. This structure here is really cool. That worked out great. That's actually, it was a weird like 70s end table with arched openings in each side of the legs or whatever. So I don't know. I think maybe it was a TV stand. I forget. But yeah, super old piece of furniture. And then I stuck this. That's from one of the WrestleMania rings or something like that. So we got a gate back in there. But yeah, that's the garage area. And I guess over here I've got my Dreadnoks are kind of crammed into the corner because, yeah, I don't have a ton of space where I picked out for my well, I guess it's a ton of space to some people, but yeah, I don't have really any more room to go but up here. So we shall see. But yeah, so here I've got my Dreadnok garage. Got the old floor model, see if I can get back in there, floor model television. Got some, they're having some drinks in there. I've got other stuff I want to put in here eventually, but I found this crazy big black bike for Road Pig, and it suits him. So that's his bike. But yeah, it's supposed to be just kind of a little shack offside of the Cobra base that the Dreadnok's gonna go and hang out and party or do whatever they do. But yeah, so that's the main garage kind of thing, or I guess the arsenal weaponry place. I don't know, but yeah, they can head out front there, and then yeah, just moves right down to the docks. But these things are always a work in progress, so that's the way it goes. But I guess we'll move. Yeah, well, I guess we'll do this first. But yeah, the front has. Well, there's that coil cycle way back in there. But yeah, I've just got like a balcony, and I 3D printed sandbags and some gates. So yeah, all the little doodads are mostly 3D printed in this. So. And then, yeah, I guess moving up here, I've got, this is kind of like the command area of the Cobra base, and that's just one of those ring lights that you can buy at the dollar store for your vlogging, so you look beautiful. But, yeah, it's a Cobra base here. It's a bit dusty, but I kind of like leaving dust sometimes because I haven't seen like a sanitation viper or anything. Kind of gives you like, I don't know, in some setups, it's like, it's the same reason I leave my, cobwebs in my Ewok setup. It just looks cool. So, but yeah, not really too concerned about dusting right now. I just kind of reset everything up. Those monitors are from like, I don't know, Wentzilla gave them to me when I was over in Michigan there a few weeks ago. They're from like a Batman cave. I'm pretty sure it's probably 6 or 7 inch bat cave because yeah, it fits in good. Just painted the screens blue. Few of the knobs red. I'll probably revisit that. I just wanted to get it in there. Then I got my Cobra throne. I did start into classifieds pretty late, so I didn't get Serpentor, and now on the secondary market, he's just like way beyond what I want to pay for a classified figure. Then we got another balcony over here. Got the Python bats hanging out. These are partition dividers, but I thought they made like a wicked like military surface or a face or something for a base. I'm gonna put one down over here, but we'll get to that. They got a radar dish. That's actually the bottom ball or half of it from a Dyson vacuum, but I thought it made a great radar dish, so that's what I made it into. And then that backdrop you see, I just ordered that from Amazon. It's clouds and then there's a bunch of forest, but it ended up being way taller, so I just kind of put the blue sky set up in the background. But that's what I did with that. And then going up one more level, I've got my the pod there with the crimson bat. I only have one of those. I don't know. I don't need all the colors of bats. I think I have most of them except for the ice one. And then we got Raptor here. He was one of the figures that they really improved over the vintage version. I did not like the vintage one as a kid. This would call him like the stupid bird man or something. But no, they knocked this one out of the park. I kind of wish this bird had like spread wings, like it was flying, and so you could like put them up like I did with the steel core here. So you could have him flying, and his bird was like maybe like pegged on his back or like, you know, flying just above him kind of thing. That would have been cool. There's probably somebody out there that can customize that. That would look neat. And then I got all my Crimson Guards over here, or what I have so far. So I'm always army building. Crimson Twins. This is kind of, I guess, like the upper rooftop or whatever in the Cobra headquarters. And then I got scrap iron there. And then I printed, my printer was all screwed up. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some really horrible lines in that print. So I just let it finish, but now that I did, it kind of looks like it's an old worn kind of bunker. But that's just an upscaled version of the original 3 3/4 like battle bunker or whatever they called that set. All right, so moving right along here, I guess we got my, I realized the distance between the bases was like kind of unrealistic, but like I said, space, right? So I got my Vipers all geared up here, firing at the Joes on the other side of the battlefield. And that's my 3D printed Stinger. So pretty much every one of these vehicles I 3D printed, and then they announced the HasLab. It's hilarious. So there's the Stinger. I think I've got like 15 Vipers here so far, but like I said, I'm always army building. So this guy's like, oh, bro, I'm shot. Help me. So the red Vipers I'm using as the medic Vipers. And then here I just got like all those doodads that they give you with the sets. Things are exploding. I've got the little remote bomb here, and Firefly's like way back here. So he's sending us some love over to the Joes anyway. And then I got, you know, obviously Storm Shadow, Timber, Snake Eyes, jumping through the bushes. There's Nunchuck. I just thought that was always a ridiculous name for a character, but whatever. It's G.I. Joe. So yeah, got here. I got some extra grunts and flints and stuff that I put those helmets on, make them into just trooper dudes. Rock and roll course up here. So yeah, little war going on. I got my 3D printed Checkpoint Alpha. So that's pretty gnarly. And then, so I printed this. This was meant to be like a much smaller model, but so I blew it up, and it was supposed to have a canopy. So none of these 3D prints that I am using, I designed myself. So I'm going to Thingiverse and grabbing a free print. But yeah, this is a small boat, and then we got all this space in there. And then yeah, even this like front turret will like rotate. There were some other action features that were in it, but I just didn't want to deal with it. Like the machine gun, I don't know how you're supposed to mount that. Like I searched the file for parts, and I was like, where's the ring that you mount it? So I just glued it. And then yeah, there's a few guys in here that are kit bashes that I got there and back again in Flint, Michigan. Someone had traded in a whole bunch of kit bashes, and he was only selling them for $10. So I was like, yep. Always good to fill at the Army. I do have like the odd Action Force figure. So I got that guy in Indiana when I went last year. I just can't get them. I can't import them into Canada for a decent price. It's absolutely ridiculous. Toy Snowman's about the best, but you cannot get Action Force. Oh yeah, I've got Alpine up there scaling the cliffs, getting ready to make a shot. Then I got my Steel Brigade or Steel Corps, whatever you want to call them, up here flying in to attack the Cobra base. Yeah, I love those effects and the jetpacks they have. Definitely want to get a few more. Have a whole brigade like flying into battle. And then there's this guy, Skyhawk. I opted for the more modern look on the print. And it wasn't a great print. Like some of the stuff I printed when I first got my 3D printer before I got the big one. So yeah, some of these prints aren't like super awesome. I guess I could redo them, but I'm only really displaying this for like myself. So not giving it to somebody or anything. But anyways, enough about that. And then going over here, we've got, so I got this cliff that kind of built up here that goes all the way to the bottom. And then the G.I. Joe base is kind of inside the cliff. But yeah, we got all the usual suspects. I do have quite a few Joes. Don't have them all, but I have a lot. Usually when I get into a line, I've got to dive in really hard, and that's really what I've done here. But I've been collecting classifieds for, I don't know, probably over a year now. And then going over here, I've got like a command center kind of deal. And then again, those are 3D printed. 3D print files. I found that you could kind of a modular network observation military computer setup. I don't know what you call it. But yeah, so I got that printed up. And then down in here, I've got that's a hollow table. It's supposed to be for Star Wars. But I just blew it up to 1/12 and I'm using that. So that's like their map table in the command center. 3D printed doors. That's the bottom off of an old DVD player. That one wall. And the rest is just foam. A lot of it's just like wood and stuff like that I find. Like I finally got these old countertops out of an old KFC. So I painted it gray. Then over here, same thing. Weapon bench I found on Thingiverse. The table and everything came from Thingiverse. And then I've got a cake rotisserie here with a satellite dish. That's just kind of running away. I want to put it up higher, but, you know, like I said, still a work in progress, working away at everything. But so far I've got quite a spread. And then down in here, we've got Spirit with his horse. That was like 20 bucks on Amazon. It's a little small, I think. Maybe. I don't know. It's okay. So, yeah, Spirit with his horse. Got a few figs coming in through here. Some customs. Yeah, this is kind of like their lounge with their weight set. We've got Quick Kick here with this fudgy bar. Then the ladders, if you see little step ladders in my setup, they're all from the WrestleMania kits. They go on sale at Walmart sometimes. So again, 3D printed vamp. That one's turned out really cool. Another Action Force figure. I think that's the only other one I have. Then back there, I've got the Striker. And that was just the original print. I just had to blow it up, like I said, to 112. And when a lot of guys say to blow everything up to 150% when you're 3D printing, like to bring it up, but I always do 165. For me, it seems like just a better scaling for me. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But I printed that his tank, the cockpit, in 150, and like a classified figure needed to sit with like his knees up to his face. So yeah, and I put it to 165, and that seemed to fix all the problems. But yeah, that is, well, I guess I got some little motorbikes parked back in there. So yeah, that's about it. That is my entire G.I. Joe classified setup. So yeah, it is pretty gnarly and huge. So yeah, if you like this content, remember, like, subscribe, share. I also do a live stream every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel. It's called World Makers Consortium, and we have 1/18th, 1/12th guests on with their station builds, their world building. Yeah, all sorts of fun. Right now we're running a death race, so that's a great contest. Should be pretty good. It was a lot of fun last week. And you can also check me out on Pirates of the Galaxy's channel almost every Wednesday night at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Whip Wednesday. So yeah, lots of stuff to check out. All right, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, cheers.